So this one is May-June 2018, paper 4, variant 1. The table shows a structure of 4 hydrocarbon. First, as an information like compound P, Q, R, and S. What is compound P? The name of this compound. 2 carbon atoms.
Ethane.
Because 2 carbon atoms, so that will be eth, and because they have a single bond ane. What is the name of the compound Q?
Ethene.
Ethene. Eth, because there are 2 carbon and you see a double bond, it's ene. What is the name of compound R?
Propene.
Propene. Because prop means 3 carbon and they have a double bond, so ene. What is the name of the compound S?
Butene.
So because there are 4 carbon, that's why but, and the double bond with the first position, so it's but-1-ene or a butene, you can also say. Then hydrocarbons can be saturated or unsaturated. If they have a single bond, means that type of a hydrocarbon is saturated. This will be unsaturated. This will be unsaturated. Here unsaturated does not refers to solubility. Here it is the term which is used to distinguish whether they have a double bond or a single bond throughout the structure. So why are the compound P, Q, R, and S are known as a hydrocarbon? As we already did this, that because they have carbon and hydrogen only. One mark is for mentioning carbon and hydrogen, and the second mark is for mentioning only. Like they don't have any other element. Compound P is saturated. What is meant by the term saturated? So the term saturated means that it contains carbon-carbon single bond throughout the structure. So there's a carbon-carbon single bond. So that's why P is saturated, Q, R, and S are unsaturated hydrocarbon. Compound P undergo a substitution reaction with chlorine. Remember one thing, whenever we have the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbon, the type of the reaction, if it is a saturated hydrocarbon, it will undergo substitution reaction. But if it is an unsaturated hydrocarbon, it will go addition reaction, means only one product will be there. So compound P can undergo substitution, but Q, R, and S will undergo addition. And when it undergo addition reaction, there will be only one product. So compound P undergoes substitution reaction. What is the definition of a substitution? So definition of a substitution reaction means that when atom, or you have to memorize this definition, when atom or group of the atom is replaced by another atom. So it's better like write in terms of atom, because with reference to the question, when atom is replaced by another atom. If the same question was there, define displacement reaction, then this definition will change when one element displaces the other element, or more reactive element displaces the less reactive element from its compound. What are the conditions? You have to memorize this condition. We use UV or ultraviolet radiation. Then the equation, compound P was ethane, which is C2N H6. When it undergo substitution reaction, 1 chlorine enter, 1 hydrogen leave. As a result, it will be C2H5Cl plus HCl will always be there. And this is one stage, like first stage, it will undergo multiple substitution until all of the hydrogen are replaced by chlorine. Compound R undergo an addition reaction with bromine. What is the term addition reaction? Addition reaction means those reactions which form only one product. There is no other product form. We call them as addition reactions. Then a compound containing a bromine is formed in this reaction. Draw the structure of this compound. So compound R is reacting with bromine. So this is R. Whenever a reaction occurs, always remember the double bond will turn into a single bond, and the 2 atoms which are added will added to each carbon which were having a double bond. So, and we have to draw all the atoms and all the bonds. So we draw the same structure. So there will be C. This was having 2 hydrogen. This is the first structure we draw. That was propene. But what will happen when the double bond will break? As the double bond will break, one bromine added to the first one, the second bromine added to the second one. And this is also a test to check the presence of a double bond, that it undergo addition reaction or decolorize the bromine. Orange to colorless if it's a bromine water. Draw the structure of unbranched isomer of S. So S is butanene or double bond with the first carbon. We have this double bond with the first carbon. Whenever we want to draw an isomer of alkene, either we can change the position of a double bond or draw a cyclic compound. So we'll draw either a cyclic compound, or we can also draw so as a result, unbranched. So what we can do, we draw the same number of the carbon atoms, just put the double bond with the second. And you have to show all the bonds and all the atoms. So this will have 3, this will have 1, this will have 1, and this will have 3. And name of this compound, because the double bond is present with the second carbon, so it is butene. Then compound Q undergo polymerization. All these alkene will undergo addition polymer. If I say like this was ethene, this is propene, this is butanene, or you can say butene. If they form a polymer, like if ethene form a polymer, it will be polyethene. Even though the polymer does not have a double bond, but we name after the monomer. If the polymer is formed by propene, it will form polypropene. If a polymer is formed from butene, it will be polybutene. So same thing they asked, if a compound S undergo polymerization, what will be the name of the polymer? If a compound Q undergo or polymerization, so Q will form polyethene. So name because Q is ethene, but the polymer which will be formed, that will be polyethene. Then we have to complete the equation. Complete the equation to show the polymerization in compound. As I mentioned, what we usually do, like this is a monomer and there are n molecules. So what we usually do, our monomer should appear first like letter H, but there's no, this part, there are, on the exam paper, there are blank pages. You can do this part on a blank page. First, rearrange the structure of a monomer. Your monomer should appear like letter H in this manner. So what you do, this is a monomer. We draw the monomer again, but it should appear like letter H. So it has 2 hydrogen, 1 hydrogen up, 1 hydrogen down. This also 1 hydrogen up, 1 hydrogen down. Then to draw polymer, we have to draw polymer here. So what we do, we draw the same structure, but without a double bond. And we put the lines that it's repeated and put a bracket and write N. Means like these N molecules, small molecules combine to form a polymer. As a polymer. The next part, the amino acids undergo polymerization to form a protein. Part of a protein molecule with a linkage is missing as shown. Draw the linkage on the diagram and show all the atoms and all the bonds. Because what happened, look, if it is a protein.
Show amide linkage.
Yeah, that's good. We'll show amide linkage. But see, this question might be for protein. This question might be nylon as well. If they ask for protein, because in a protein, one side, a molecule contain amine group, another side, there should be acid. One side, amine group, other side, acid. One side, amine group, other side, acid. And we link them together, which is by amide or a peptide linkage. If it is a protein. But what if the same question was there instead of protein, they say nylon. The same question was there, undergo polymerization to form nylon. Then what you will do? Because in a nylon, one molecule, both ends amine group, other molecule, both ends carboxylic group. Then another molecule, both ends amine group. If it was a nylon. So in a nylon, one molecule, both ends, like identical ends are there for the molecules. But in protein, one side amide, one side acid. And we just link them together. They will also have amide or a peptide linkage. But according to the question, because it's a protein, so one side amine group, one side acid. One side amine group, other side carboxylic acid, one side amine, and just we link them together to form amide or a peptide linkage. Then the next one, we have to name an ester. Structure shows an ester. You can see there's an ester. How to name an ester? The part which is attached with oxygen, we name it first, and that should always end at YL. And the part which is attached with C double bonded with O, that we named at second, and that should end at OH. So this part is, we give that's a branch first we name, and this part we name as second. So how many carbon atoms do you see attached with oxygen?
2.
2. So what is the prefix we use for 2?
Eth.
Eth. So I will say it is eth. But because it's a part which is attached with oxygen.
Butanoate.
Good. So it will be ethyl. Eth, yeah, it is ethyl butanoate, that's right. Eth because of 2 carbon and Yl because of this attached with oxygen. Then the other one is having 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon. So it will be but. And they have a single bond N. And due to the presence of this ester, C double bonded with O and OH, C double bonded with O and O. So we write as OH. So it will become ethyl butanoate. Can you identify which alcohol and acid react to form this ester? Which alcohol?
Ethanol and
Good. Ethanol, because the first name is always from alcohol and the second one.
butanoic acid.
Good. That the second one is butanoic acid. Because carboxylic acids and alcohol react to form ester. The first name of an ester is from carboxylic alcohol. The second name is from carboxylic acid. So sometimes they might give you a structure. They ask the name, the structure, and then they ask state what are the reagents or what are the chemicals react to form this ester, and what is the condition. It should be in the presence of sulfuric acid as a catalyst, because alcohol and carboxylic acid in the presence of acid catalyst form this ester.